What? Did we just become best friends?
Yeah!
One is a t-shirt queen, and the other is an SEO and web developing ninja. And both of these squirrels are a little nuts. You're now listening to the More Gooder Ideas podcast, a show for the small business hustlers worldwide, encouraging you to be your most authentic self. This is the place where your whole story matters. Come for the tips and stay for the fun. Now, your hosts, Angie Patterson and Jay Smith.
Louisville, Kentucky, Arny's Barbershop, a neighborhood barbershop off Bardstown Road in the Gardner Lane Shopping Center. This marks our very first podcast episode filmed on location with a small business in Louisville.
Yeah.
It also marks our entry into the 1% because this is our 20th episode.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's right. So we are
Thank
now.
you guys.
Right, you are part of history. Like when we knocked Joe Rogan off the mountain, you're a part of that. You're a part of that. And royalties are already precluded. It's in your contract. You signed it, so tough shit. So let's learn a little bit about Arny's Barbershop. I frequented your barbershop as a neighbor who lives right down the street, and with my sons, I found that your story and your artwork in here was really cool, and I really appreciate you taking the time to let us come in here and drop all this shit everywhere and talk to you about Arny's Barbershop. So first off, if you wouldn't mind, let's hear a little bit about what is Arny's Barbershop? How long you've been here?
Who the hell is Arny?
Right.
Is that me?
Yeah, that's hey, anybody who wants to take it.
My name is Sean Arny.
Okay.
And before I took over the shop, it was here for about 16 years, but it did not have a name, so I just named it my name instead of trying to come up with something clever.
Like Funzy's Barbershop,
like
as we were
Funzy's,
discussing. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we've been here 3 years now, and it's going great.
Yay!
Awesome. I have noticed that you all have a significant number of regulars in here. Usually when I pop by, more often to harass you than give you money and ask you if we can come
Can we
here.
record here?
Right. Can I just play with all my toys and do my hobby in your shop instead of paying you money? Have you found any challenges in building like a regular community of people who come here on a regular basis? No.
The area is really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think that we inherited a lot of the older clientele from the other shop too. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Have you found, was there anything that the old shop has anybody said, well, they used to do this?
Shout out to Mark.
So she's got a story. She's got a story. Let's turn that mic over a little bit.
Mark is big into podcasts.
He is listening right now.
Awesome.
Sure, 100%.
He's spying on
He's
us
like
from our
holding
truck.
his rotary phone.
Yeah.
His ear, just-
The man that
Listening.
never had a shop phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
just walk in 100%?
100% walk-in.
No.
They
No.
said people would just show up
They
and
would
hang
sit here
out.
for hours,
show
and then like people would show up, and he would just randomly be closed. So like, just like hope for the best. There'd just be a sign that just says no.
No, not today.
Yeah, like, that's it. So,
You rolled the dice and you lost.
yeah.
If it was only that simple now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings up a good point because obviously I'm assuming Mark was not on social media promoting his business. Do you think that do you feel like it's necessary to have that social media presence? Like I feel like that with my business. I'm product based though, so it's a little bit.
I don't post nearly as many haircuts as I used to, and I probably should, but I feel like I've gotten to the point where I've gotten enough of a clientele that I don't.
I have noticed that knowing other people in this industry, like you hit a ceiling pretty quick when you get a following, whether it's hairstylists, barbers, because you only have so many hours in the day. So does that ever start conversations about growing your staff when you're pretty much at your capacity? And that may not be happening yet, but is that a conversation that you would start considering when you get to the point where you cannot serve new people coming in because you don't have the time in the day? When it comes to hairstylists and barbers, what I've seen, because you're craftsmen and because you have a following and you have customers who want to work with you on a regular basis, your time is going to run out pretty quick. Like you can only schedule so many haircuts in a week and maintain your sanity. So at some point, you either have to grow the shop or determine, hey, this is who we are, and we don't want to add another person necessarily, or it's too difficult to find a person. I have heard that. I have another client who's a barber. Finding qualified barbers who meet your expectations and also have the qualifications and also fit your culture in your shop. That's important.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if I even
Well-
came around to a fucking question there
No,
whatsoever. Just hearing myself talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, it works. It worked out.
Yeah, no, we've been looking for a barber for several months.
Yeah.
And it's been hard. I mean, we've had a few people interested, but no one that wanted to commit seemed like a good fit. And then other people that might have seemed like a good fit didn't commit. However, starting next month, we have a new barber joining us.
Hey,
So we're really excited about that. So now we're going to have 4 of us in here.
congratulations.
I won't
Yeah.
be the only female anymore.
So we're going to, yeah.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
That's interesting.
I want to pivot a little bit and talk about your experience. Like, was being a barber always the thing?
No.
No. What was it
Not
before?
at all.
Not at all.
I have changed my mind about what I wanted to do 100 times. So,
Entrepreneur.
Samesies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I just kind of fell into this because I had friends who were doing it, and it seemed like a good fit because I didn't want a desk job. I like working with my hands. Sorry about that. And yeah, it just seemed like a fun job. Like every time I went to the barbershop, it seemed fun and cool, and like a nice, cool atmosphere to be
Okay.
in.
Did you go to school, learn how to be a barber, and then you would figure it out, and then this shop came along? Did you buy the shop and decide to figure it out?
Oh no, I went to school and then worked in a couple of shops
Okay.
before coming here.
Okay, so you've been cutting hair for a while before you bought the shop.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so how did this unholy trinity come together?
You guys are perfect just how you are.
Right.
It's okay.
Right. No, I mean, there's 3 people. Like, this isn't just you in this barbershop.
Right.
Like, this barbershop has a very definite personality, and it's all 3 of you. So that happened somehow.
I slid into his DMs about a job. And when we came back from COVID, things were hard. I had just moved in with my partner and her son. So I was like new to that. And then all of a sudden I was having to be like stay-at-home teacher / dad like a few months after moving in. And I had 0 experience with children. And so when Chop Shop opened back up, it was just really hard. And I wanted to go somewhere with appointments.
In fairness, a lot of people who have a lot of experience in raising kids are fucking terrible at it. So
I'm really bad at it.
don't hold yourself
We're
up
all
to that
bad
standard.
at
Yeah. Like, it's, yeah.
I knew Sean from school. We went to barbering school together, and then we worked
Oh,
at
okay.
a shop together.
Okay.
And then we separated our ways, and then I was like, I'm thinking about going back to barbering. I hit him up. I was like, hey, are you still looking?
When I first took over, I was here by myself for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 9 months, 10 months. And then that's when Steve joined. And then a year later, she joined.
Okay.
I love that because our last couple episodes, we've been talking about like networking and traditional networking versus non-traditional networking, if you would. People kind of stop doing that. They rely on social media or whatever. And if you bring your homies in, you use your connections to build things because you can trust each other. You know what your work ethic is like. So that's interesting to hear. Well, I put an ad on Craigslist and they applied and it worked out fine. You have to have a network regardless of what your business is.
No, I have been in barber shops where everybody's just like a contractor and this is their booth.
Yeah.
And it does not, nothing wrong with that. That's just
Right.
what it is. But it definitely doesn't have the personality that is immediately like evident when you walk into Arny's barbershop. Like, you all have a very definite personality. You all know each other. And I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're, I wanted everybody that works here to mesh well and gel because we're in like 400 square feet. We're close together for 9 hours.
5 days a week.
and at least 25% of your day, you're holding a straight razor.
Yeah.
Like,
There's weapons.
you have one,
Sharp
just
things.
staring across.
Intrusive thoughts happen all
Yeah.
the time.
Something weird will be happening in a chair or something, and all of us we just know. We all just go. Just
Did
like-
this guy just admit to a felony?
And we all just like do this triad of looks, just like, okay.
That's what I was going to ask, if people confess in the barber chair like they do in, say, a salon chair? You know, that's kind of that old trope that you tell the stylist everything. Do people do that with a barber too?
Way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
That's fantastic.
That's me. I'm an overshare.
No,
Sometimes it goes both
I am
ways,
an
though.
oversharer, but as a female, when you're talking to like 80-year-old men, sometimes you don't need to know.
So
stories.
let's pivot a little bit. And so what do you wish more people knew about barbershops or barbers or the industry in general?
That if we don't work, we don't get paid.
Okay.
And if they come in sick, and then we end up sick, and then we don't get to work, we definitely don't get paid.
Right.
But yeah, like show up on time to your appointment, or at least have it like call us, or you know what I mean. Like it's just because that's literally taking money out of my pocket, and I could have replaced that with somebody, you know, that would come in. That would be like me showing up to someone's hourly job and just being like, "Hey, clock out for an hour."
That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's that really is what it is.
And that, I imagine that's probably a problem for everyone in your industry.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
no shows or
I mean, that's any industry like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Whether you're a masseuse, a tattooer, or
Therapist,
you know, therapist.
I think people think because you have like a chair, you're in a building, that you're going to get a paycheck no matter what happens, when really you are entrepreneurs that just have a chair. You know, you're still doing the same hustle as other people who are relying on somebody else to pay them, not a company or a
Well, I mean,
corporation.
Look at it this way. You said you were here by yourself for like a year, right?
Yeah.
So you were just sitting here. I'm sure there were days it was slow.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just sitting there just looking at your bank account, panicking probably. right?
Questioning my
your decision,
my-
right?
That's the worst
like,
part
Did I
is when
make a
you're
big
not-
mistake here?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the artwork, because that is something definitely unique to this shop. And I think the very first time I came in, like definitely the Anthony Bourdain caught my eye because
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
That's a crowd favorite.
It is?
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely stands out and it's very unique.
So yeah, the artwork is all, it's like bands, movies, actors, TV shows, characters, stuff that I grew up with, stuff that I like.
All of our favorite things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never told you my favorite is the Melvins for sure.
Melvins,
yeah. I really love that.
Well, I mean, that's kind of fitting, isn't it?
yeah.
And I don't want to divert too hard away from Arny's Barbershop, but you do have a background in the Louisville music scene.
I do. Yeah.
You want to talk about that for just a minute because it's a very interesting story.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm a barber. Nothing else worked. So, yeah, I was in a band. We toured for a really long time. I was in my early 20s. I was just
Back when you could sleep in a van and
yeah,
you didn't
that
want to
was
die
all
for a
totally
week
fine.
after.
We didn't make any money, but I got to see like a big chunk of the world. Being involved in like punk and hardcore and things like that, like it kind of ruined any kind of office setting for me. You know what
Sure.
I mean? And so I wanted to be able to do something where there was more freedom involved in it. And I like the idea of working in a shop, and especially one like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. There's no hokey gimmicks. There's no. Not that hokey gimmicks are bad. Love a hokey gimmick, but like, it's
The ball pit,
My whole life is built on
right.
hokey.
You know what I mean?
the
Like
little
we're-
airplane you sit in while you get your hair cut.
Right, you know, and so
Awesome.
I mean, and I know that Sean was in like he's got a passion for music and things like that too, so it works out. Everything
Okay.
tends to work out, and you know, I know I'm grumpy a lot, but I do like you guys.
Aw,
see?
see, we recorded that.
Right. That's
Can you add a little
forever.
sparkle to my?
Official.
And it seems like you guys have respect for each other because, kind of like you guys were saying earlier too, once you have a family, you have to find that balance of, yes, I want freedom and I want to be able to be creative or whatever, but also I want to know if my family needs me, that my boss isn't going to give me shit.
Biggest worry is if our clients are going to give us shit. Like you just have that fear. Like even
Really?
if you have clients
Yeah.
for months, you're off on one day and you're not available. It's like you all now
Like they own you.
almost. Well, not just that, but it's like you have that fear that they're going to go somewhere else. Or, you know,
There's
it's,
like an anxiety that comes along with taking that time off. You're scared you're going to lose that client.
yeah.
I can totally see that.
Because we live in such a world where everyone thinks that you're supposed to be accessible all day, every day.
Yeah.
The amount of people that will walk in a barbershop and expect a haircut within 5 minutes while we're all cutting hair
Yeah. I like
You're
a
looking
Saturday.
directly at me, but that's cool.
And then
Tapping his
I do
foot.
that shit all the time. Like, I know somebody ghosted you. You got openings. Come on, put me in there.
You feel kind of defeated because it's like you are constantly balancing home life and work life, and then you're also balancing personal, like you're
Stuff.
worth something. Like you do good haircuts, and then you have to like constantly reassure yourself that.
Yeah.
They do that for me a lot here. They take care of me here. It's nice.
I think what
Back up.
what you're describing is people who see this service as a commodity,
Yes.
that they can go to
They could go-
whatever barbershop and a haircut's a haircut's a haircut.
Yeah.
Well, another thing about today, like these days, is like you really are replaceable
Yeah.
pretty quick. So you've kind of got to stay on top of it, right? Like there's how many, you did the research, how many barbershops are there in Louisville now? It's like 200.
there's a lot.
Really?
There's a lot.
Wow.
Wow.
And so like, you do have to like be conscious of that. So.
You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Another thing that can be hard is sometimes like you have to kind of just be on all the time.
Yeah.
So and that's hard if you're having
It's-
a bad day.
It's exhausting because like socially, I'm tapped out at the end of the day.
Same.
Because you're performing a skill, but you're also having to like
You're socially
hold a
interacting with them.
conversation. I mean, some people don't want to talk, and that's fine. You can, yeah.
But some of the conversations,
But some are heavy. I mean, we deal
at
with
like
like
9 in the morning, straight up.
deal with,
You're
like,
dealing with someone who just lost the
lost
love of their life for 63
spouse
years.
or
Yeah.
like
But then there's the opposite side too, where there's some days that are awesome. Like it's filled with clients that you like talking to. It's a great time. However, it just takes that one
I can see that. That's,
completely
Torpedo.
completely pivot your day.
Yeah. I think that's something people don't think about when they're on any kind of entrepreneurial journey is you're always thinking about the freedom or the creative liberties, and you forget that you still have to win over the client.
and there's a big cultural aspect to barbershops that's along those lines. So people do have that expectation where this is a public meeting place.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You want that because you want them to enjoy coming here and not see you as interchangeable with other barbershops. But to your point, like you can be a lot more efficient. Like for me, it takes you 3 minutes to cut my hair.
Yeah.
If I expect you to sit there and just shoot the shit with me for a half hour, that's another at least one haircut you could knock out and get paid more with your time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but we upcharged you another 15.
That's fine. I've been swimming in Krugerrands ever since the big NFT bubble, so I'm fucking whatever, man. Charge me whatever you want. I don't
Coming up on 9 years sober, just to let you guys
Yay! Congratulations.
know. Not actively blowing lines on the senior citizens.
I'm coming up on 19 hours. 19 hours sober for me. Yeah, see? Yeah.
1 hour at a time.
Fuck it, I'll get my own applause. I don't care.
I even got my coffee cup
Sorry,
and everything. I'm
Alyssa.
like, traditional recovery.
It's going better than I thought it would.
That's good. I'm
gonna
very
lie.
No, but this is the whole point of
yeah.
recording a podcast in your business. It's personality.
Yeah.
That's the business is we want to tell the story of Arny's Barbershop outside of this neighborhood for people who discover you a little more organically.
My point of the podcast, which I've never shared with you until now,
Jesus.
is like also connecting the dots between all entrepreneurs because we have the same conversations, like no matter what we're talking about or who we're talking to. And you might think, oh, well, I build websites. What do I have, in common with a barber, or what do I have in common with somebody who sells T-shirts? And I think that there's always these kind of connecting points that bind us together as entrepreneurs that we can all kind of learn from each other too.
That is true, because when I was listening to one of your old episodes about social
We have a
media,
listener.
I came prepared. No,
That McDuggan money coming.
it's
Sponsored
the
by
fear of
McDougal's.
social media and getting canceled and comments on your products or your services
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That is a big fear too.
I mean, it's a little different because I'm not like touching anybody's butt. Like they can get rid of the shirt if they don't like it, but I do. I'm always like, and is this going to offend somebody? Because nothing offends me. I think that's funny, but that's my customer thinks that's funny, but it's going to piss somebody else off. Or it is a struggle. I think no matter what you do, of I did this because I want to do my own thing,
yeah,
but I don't want to piss off the people who are paying my bills.
yeah.
That's a weird line to toe because I feel like anything that you do can make one person happy and piss another person off.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's just all personalities. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell a really weird joke. Half the room in here, we've seen it, where some people will laugh and some people are obviously.
Some people are just like,
really bummed. Just, like, I've seen people obviously bummed out that I exist.
unfortunately, that a very small minority of people could create a much bigger storm
Sure.
of negativity that could try to bring a business down. Or
Like, I've seen this man stressing out about Google reviews, you know, and like it shouldn't have to be that way.
And so that's the danger of seeing those reviews, because this is like, you've already mentioned it, like, this is your life. This is everything's tied up in this. Everything's invested in it. Your ability to provide for your family, everything about, it's all tied up in this shop.
Our one and only like comment we've ever gotten on YouTube, which was, "You suck."
Nice.
No, we don't even know which one of them we were talking. He was
That was
talking
our
about.
first. That was our first.
You should frame that.
We have.
I bring it up every episode.
Yeah, we've actually have started getting a lot more comments, but that was the very first one, because like you, I was like, I got a comment. I'm posting all this crap on YouTube, doing all this editing, and then I saw it and I'm like,
Damn.
thanks for the feedback. I guess I'll do.
Not
Stop sucking. I
Not
suppose.
even a criticism.
No.
Like, hey, have you thought about this? Like,
Yeah.
you just suck.
Have you thought about being less fat, asshole? Something that I can work on, maybe.
That hurt. That like hurt me inside.
Brothers in arms.
You suck.
So one of the canned questions I sent you all that I love asking small business owners is, can you tell me about a small business in Louisville that you really love, that you think other people should know about, that don't necessarily, it doesn't get the attention that it should?
But yeah, No Division Tattoos, awesome. Steve Gatros, shout out Steve Gatros.
Steve Gatros, No Division Tattoo.
Gatros.
Gatros,
Yeah,
okay.
He's the owner, good dude, really good tattooers there.
Let us come record there, Steve.
Yeah.
Just say it with a little more confidence.
I'll get a free. You could interview him while he's giving me a tattoo.
Let them come record you, Steve.
God, I don't even want to talk anymore. His voice is insanely sexy. I don't want to speak.
It
on
doesn't
this.
match my head.
I wonder what your clientele would be like if you just turned the lights off and talked to your clients.
Well, they'd have bad haircuts because the lights are off.
It's called Arny's After Hours.
Ooh, Arnie's After
I'll
Dark.
just talk to you for like a half an hour for $23.
Different services,
Weird.
different prices.
I feel like that voice in the dark takes a different tone, though.
Yeah.
How did you want your haircut today?
I like the breathiness you added.
So that one was kind of sling bladey. I like it.
no.
And then right here in the plaza, we've got Preston Arts Center. Like, I love that.
They're
place.
also moving.
Yeah, they're moving away too. But yeah, I do love those guys. Like, they're awesome store. So.
Yeah. So that brings up an interesting question. Is this the last stop geographically for Arnie's? If you were to grow to the point where you would overdo for artists, would you want to move to a larger location?
That's tough. I don't know. I like this location right here. We've got the neighborhood behind us, the neighborhood in front of us, the neighborhood on this side,
Good
on the other side of the
community.
expressway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
our
on-
clientele,
people on their way to
our
work.
clients are awesome. We're easy to get to from pretty much anywhere in the city. You could get here within 15 minutes.
Like, I walk
max.
here.
mean, yeah, we have a lot of people.
Did you
that
walk with all this?
No.
Oh.
Not no.
I was about to be really impressed.
All right.
But yeah,
Don't
maybe
drive
one day,
fast.
if I could find another location that is
Sean's impulsive, it'll happen.
You could put one
close
in
to
New
here,
Albany.
Yeah.
By the Sherman Mitten Bridge, which is conveniently right by where I live.
And everybody look at that camera. Thank you so much for our first ever on-site interview at the friendly, warm, welcoming Arny's Barbershop. I'm Angie.
And I'm Jay.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Sean.
Steve.
Just Steve. All right. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.
Yay!
First on scene. Now the meth shooters. No. Bring in the hookers and coke. Woo!
Thanks for checking out this episode of the More Gooder Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at More Gooder Ideas, and search us up on Facebook, the More Gooder Ideas Podcast. And don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode.